Listen to the sound of footsteps in the dark, to voices that may not be quite human, to the sound of screams in the night. The Haunted Cabaret, the home of all things horror, on Rhode with your host, George Garner. The Haunted Cabaret starts now.
Abigail, I know you're in control of the brain. Abigail, and I know that you're the one who's speaking to her. Abigail, look at your face. Abigail, don't you think I know what you've done? Abigail, I get breathe. He will know I can get it so back.
That was King Diamond, Abigail, and this is the Haunted Cabaret. I'm your host, as always, George Garner. Across from me at the table is Chuckles the Evil Clown, also as always. And seated also with us at the table, a special guest, Jim Dwyer, grandson of the late, great C.M. Eddy Jr.
Hello. How are you? It's good to be here.
It
You
is.
keep saying that.
I know I keep saying that, but it is good to be here.
That's because I have a proverbial gun pointed to his side.
That's right.
There's no point to say that.
Well, no. Well, let's get to something straight here. No, people are glad to be on my show.
Oh, okay.
It's your show that you have to intimidate them into compliance.
Right,
with,
because
all right?
my show sucks. Well, I understand that.
I enjoy being
It
on your
doesn't.
show.
It doesn't suck.
It
It
just
doesn't suck. I have an evil clown with an inferiority complex jumping to conclusions right at the beginning of my show. I don't know what I'm supposed to do next.
See, now
I
I know
go
why
ahead.
I was put in the middle of the two of you.
Oh, no, I can still kick him right the balls under the table. I can reach.
hey, this is not Fetish Night Saturday. It's not time for that right now. Right?
That's right. Speaking, let's just get that out of the way right off the top. It's this Friday night, this coming Friday night, that the next fetish night is going to happen at Manchester 65 Club, right?
Wow, what a segue.
Saturday night
Coming, boots to the balls, and Fetish Night.
and fetish night.
Wow. I'm sorry, Mr. Dyer, for
That's
this.
quite all right.
But your grandfather would love this stuff if
quite
we
all
had,
right.
had added the dead part into that.
I mean, yeah. By the way, it's this. Let me first correct that. It's Saturday night, not Friday night. It's Saturday night, right down here in scenic West Warwick, Rhode Island, at Manchester 65 Club.
I don't want to take anything away. There are some really good scenic-looking women that go to this. So if you're a single guy,
Oh, I am.
Yeah.
Don't worry. A lot of times on this show, I talk either tongue-in-cheek or with dripping sarcasm. No, I am seriously recommending this. Yes, this is a place to go to enjoy yourself.
Right.
Whatever your enjoyment might involve. Believe me, when I say whatever your enjoyment involves, you will find it there. So, by the way, speaking of Manchester 65, let me clear up another item from our last show. Now, if you remember, we were ranting and raving about terrorism and whores and whatever else whatever sidetracks I got on our last show, Chuckles, if you remember. Now, during that show, and I sincerely want to clear this up, I gave our address as 65 Manchester, okay? As I've often said, everything on this show is for entertainment purposes only. That is not our address. Any terrorist wishing to destroy, mutilate, behead, or otherwise disfigure Chuckles the Clown, if you go to 65 Manchester, all you will find is that nightclub I just spoke of, where we may or may not be drinking down a few Narragansetts. But you will not. That is not our address. So just let's clear that up right now. You will not find Chuckles the Clown there on a regular basis. Okay?
and you will not find Chuckles the Clown sitting at the Fetish Night with a dead body on the side of him.
No.
No.
The dead body will be home in his refrigerator, as it usually is. Okay?
Now, normally our guests, when we start talking about this, George, they'd be running out of here screaming.
Not this man.
I'm just waiting to see where this goes. So,
Not this man. Definitely not this man.
No, because this man, let's mention right away, he is, Mr. Dyer is the grandson of C.M. Eddy Jr., friend and associate of H.P. Lovecraft, who penned one of the first stories of necrophilia to make it into the popular press, the popular magazines.
Yes, my grandfather's story, The Loved Dead.
The Loved Dead.
Was in
Good
Weird
story,
Tales,
too.
1924, actually.
Right, and which includes the graphic description of an undertaker's assistant in the arms of a rotted corpse. So no, this man here is not going to run from the room.
Did you ever
I knew that
notice?
going in.
And I think I may have told you this. And listeners, if you're from Rhode Island, you'll know what I'm talking about. And if you're not, take a tourism here. Eddy Street, if you ever notice, ends in the morgue at the Providence Hospital.
Yes, you did mention that one time.
Did they do that on purpose?
I don't know.
Did they do
Well,
that
that's
for-
news. I'll tell you, that's news for me. I guess we have you here for some reason because that's an awesome factoid.
It's a honest fact that Eddy Street ends at the morgue door at the Providence Hospital. So did someone do that on purpose?
I don't know. I don't know what the city planners were thinking back then.
Maybe there's a little truth to your grandfather's story there. They just wrote from someone's listening. I mean,
I know there is a cross street in Providence.
Now that's right near Poe Street, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Poe Street is right off Allen's Avenue.
Poe Street
Yes.
is right up, yeah.
Yes.
And now the reason Edgar Allan Poe comes to mind is two reasons. One is that today is indeed Edgar Allan Poe's birthday. So
Happy birthday,
happy
brother.
birthday, Mr.
Edgar
Poe.
Allan Poe.
You were the beginning of everything. We would not be here if it was not for Edgar Allan Poe. The only problem is that I'm toasting, this radio is a completely audio medium. We don't have a video feed. So you do not realize that I'm toasting the memory of Edgar Allan Poe with Narragansett beer with H.P. Lovecraft's picture on it. There's something wrong here, guys.
There's a lot wrong.
Edgar Allan Poe was a classic, world famous lush. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He'd like to bend his elbow a few
Yeah.
times, yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Why isn't his picture on this?
H.P. Lovecraft was a teetotaler and a supporter, if I'm not mistaken, of Prohibition. So why am I holding Narragansett? Now, I know the dumbass answer. I mean, we're here in Rhode Island. H.P. Lovecraft was the Rhode Island guy. Edgar Allan Poe was the Baltimore guy who just showed up in Rhode Island when he wanted to pork his girlfriend.
Let's just say Lenore. Let's say that's her book.
That's her
pen name.
Her pen name.
Right.
Her poetry persona, yes. Sarah Helen Whitman, that was her name.
Yes, on Benefit Street, yes. She lived
Yeah.
on Benefit Street.
Yeah, so Edgar Allan Poe just came to Providence to get laid and drink. Lovecraft lived here. That's why I'm holding a can of Gansett with Lovecraft's picture on it. Totally inappropriate.
I'm going to go with, there's a third problem with this. Now,
Okay.
well, I'll go with four because I'll say third.
You don't take over. We have things to get to here.
Now Edgar Allan Poe should be on this. The fourth problem is it has something to do with Narragansett. And H.P. Lovecraft hated the smell of seafood. So why would he be down by Narragansett Bay? He would hate that smell, wouldn't he?
Yes, he would. He was not a person who liked the seashore at all.
He didn't. Well, yeah, he didn't like seafood at all.
No, he didn't.
Like fish or anything that came from the fish, and that's why most of his stories were
Yeah,
horror stories from the depths of the ocean.
As a matter of fact, we wouldn't have the monster Cthulhu if it wasn't for Lovecraft's aversion to seafood.
Yes.
Bite your tongue, Mr. Cthulhu existed before him as a subliminal message that he gave Mr. Lovecraft to let you know of his existence. You, sir, have just done something worse than talking about those. I'm not going to say their names. You have angered a god.
First of all, let's get something straight. See,
He doesn't even
Jim,
know our address. We're done. We're done. He's a god. Thank you very much. I'm not going to be able to come back from this one. It was nice knowing you, Mr. Dyer. Thank you.
All right, he's just trying to protect his rear hindquarters. He does not want Cthulhu to be after him, as well as the other groups, organizations, and individuals who we will not mention on this show
Right.
anymore. Yeah, you got a real scare thrown into you when those French humorists were gunned down, didn't you?
No, not really. No, I really didn't. I actually, I'll step back and say I used to make fun of the French a lot. Still do on a daily basis. But after watching their reaction to the terrorism and then watching ours, I'm thinking about moving to France, man. I mean, they don't give these guys Harvard. They just gun them down. We take a guy that's killed people and we put him in jail and keep him behind bars for 3 years.
I will say, and by the way, Jim, this gives you some indication of the tangents that this show will run amok into. Just so you know, feel free to just jump right in because
I will.
Because if you don't, we may not get to the subject matter that we promised to get into.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Okay.
But this French terrorism business, what amuses me is that these same French intellectual, I can't say the word I was going to, okay, I caught myself I look at my producer Tony Jones, I caught myself just in time. Yes, he was loosening his collar. He was sweating profusely.
I almost got DJ Psycho Eddie as a host.
Yeah, but it just amuses me that the same French intellectuals and French people on the street that were criticizing the United States response to 9/11, the unwarranted violence and bombing all these poor people, and they've turned into blood mad wolves over there.
I love it.
Haven't they?
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of like watching a gerbil get ferocious.